भगवान श्री योगी रामसूरतकुमार की सर्वं योगी रामसूरतकुमारार्पणमस्तु। Once again, for this great opportunity given by the divine Yogi Ramsuratkumar, we shall offer our grateful pranams. We saw only yesterday how this Nama Sankirtan helped a lady to come out of her predicament. Such is the power of the Nama Sankirtan, especially when we sing together. Now, before we submit our today's prayers, we shall go to Yogi Ramsuratkumar Sannidhi Street House once again and see what happens there. You see him sitting there with Agaram Jayaraman in the veranda, and they were all busy with putting up some photos of Bhagwan. Bhagwan gave them some garlands, the Nama garlands. Small paper, one can write the name and then fold it nicely so that they could all be stranded together, and made a mala. So Bhagwan asked Jayaraman to garland those photos with Nama Mala. After that, Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya came from Krishnagiri. He was carrying a book with him. When Bhagwan saw him, it was about 8:30 in the morning. When Bhagwan saw him, he said, "Oh, Perumal has come. Let's all go inside." Pondicherry Jagannathan had come, but then he was asked to stay up at the mandap. So inside the house of Bhagwan, Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya and Agaram Jayaraman were the two people. And around 10 o'clock, after some vigorous father's work, Bhagwan wanted to rest. So he rested for nearly 2 hours, which is a very rare event. He would not take rest, probably he had some very serious job to do, and this was his excuse for him that he was resting. He did not want to be disturbed. So he got some intense father's work done. Around 12 o'clock, they got up. When Bhagwan got up, he saw Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya reading some book and closing it. Immediately he said, "Perumal, will you please give me that book?" So when Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya gave that book to him, Bhagwan just opened it on certain page and then said, "Will you please read it out? And then tell this beggar the meaning of this." If we look at it closely, we see that it's a book called Dharmapadam. And it is a collection of the sayings of Lord Buddha, that whenever it was possible for him to say something on different topics, he spoke, and all these pearls, the wisdom pearls, were collected and put in the form of a book. There are 423 of them. They're like poems. Then when Bhagwan opened the book on a certain page, it was 325, the number of the poem, that is 325 came. Bhagwan said, "Perumal Raju, now you read the meaning of this and tell this beggar both in Tamil and English." And then Shri Perumal Raju read, most of us, it says all of us, in fact, are like withered leaves. You see on a tree, small tender leaves appear here and there, and then they grow into a full form of leaf and stay put for some time, and after that the decay starts. Slowly, the green leaf turns yellow. When it becomes completely yellow and dry, just one wind and it will fall down. All withered leaves could no more stay up on the tree. They have to fall down. So Perumal Raju further read, when we are in that state, we are in the evening of life. Any time the call can come from the Lord of Death. And then there's a long journey, a long perilous journey. You have been very busy preparing for this life, all the comforts that you could buy. You spend most of the time in earning money, earning comforts for life. But now, have you prepared anything for the after journey, the long, arduous, perilous journey after we drop the body? how many of us are prepared for that? Because in that journey also, you may not have the body, but you may feel hungry. You may not have the body, but you may feel thirsty. You may not have a body, but then you get tired after some time. You have to rest somewhere. You need a place to rest. We have not prepared. We are so busy with our life earning money and thinking of 100 things to achieve. So this is what Buddha asks. Now let's look closely at that. Bhagwan, of course, made Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya narrate the meaning of that 3 times in Tamil and 3 times in English. Now, how do we prepare? How do we prepare for this? For the life, for the journey, the after journey. Every good karma that you do now, every thought of God, every action done for the sake of God, every action done in utter selflessness, are the comforts that you arrange for your long after journey. And helping people who are helpless without any expectations, and that for the sake of God. Every good action done selflessly for the sake of others, for the sake of God, would count. And it carries you through the journey that awaits all of us after death. This is what is called preparation. So after we get busy and earn as much as needed for this life. And after some time, after some years, we have to start thinking about preparation of comforts for the journey that comes after. Now, after Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya gave the meaning, Bhagwan rearranged everything, and then he went and sat on a mat and asked Agaram Jayaraman to sit a little away from him. And then he sent word to Pondicherry Jagannathan, who was up there in the mandap. So when he came and knocked at the door, he was also called in. He was made to sit a little away. And Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya was seated in front of Bhagwan, opposite to Bhagwan, with a book in hand. And now Bhagwan asked Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya to read the first sloka. It's all written in the language Pali. What Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya carried must have been a translation of that book. Bhagwan said, "Let us read the book." And he said, "You start the first sloka. You please tell me the meaning in Tamil 3 times and then in English 3 times. So the first one, Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya read, and the first one says, "The mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. The mind is the basis for all thoughts. And now, when we speak something, when we do something, if the mind is not pure, with an impure mind, you speak to people. With impure mind, you do your actions. what happens? The actions never get complete. And what's more, what follows such actions is suffering. And how does it follow the suffering? If you visualize a bullock cart which is moving, as the bullock moves on, we know the wheels of the cart will follow the ox's foot. The foot. Just as the wheels of the cart follow the foot of the ox which was dragging it, a suffering would follow people who speak with an impure mind, who act with an impure mind. Meaning, when you do some bad karma, or when you have a bad word for somebody, be sure the effect of these bad karmas would definitely follow you. How? Just as the wheels of the bullock cart follow the bullock. Bhagwan said, you repeat the meaning second time, third time. After 6 times, 3 times in Tamil and 3 times in English, Bhagwan asked Agaram Jayaraman to say the meaning 3 times in English and 3 times in Tamil. And after that, Bhagwan said, this beggar opened the book on a certain sloka just now, a few minutes before. Will you please read the meaning of that again? So Perumal Raju Aiyya started to read. Of course, we have just seen that we are all like withered leaves. We are now in the evening of our life. And the call is very near. Call from the world of Yamapuri, meaning from the city of death, from the city of the Lord of death. The messengers have come. They are just standing there a little distance away. And they are ready to pounce upon us any moment. Now you have been very busy with life, earning money, or just making merry with people and friends, wasting life, or arranging for comfort after comfort or comfort. If you are living in a small house, you want a big house. If you have a small car or a friend has a bigger car, then we want it immediately. You want all the comforts. We could keep on multiplying our needs. We multiply our wants, and soon our wants become our needs. Now Shri Buddha asks, okay, that's fine. But how have you prepared? How are you prepared for the journey that's going to come soon? There also, you need to eat. You need to drink because you would feel thirsty. You need a place to rest. And you need light to walk on. What are your preparations for that long, arduous journey? So Bhagwan wanted Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya to give the meaning 3 times in Tamil and 3 times in English. And after that, Bhagwan asked Agaram Jayaraman to give the meaning again 3 times in Tamil and 3 times in English. Repetition is power. That's why we repeat the name. Any thought repeated again and again gathers strength. At one point it gathers so much power, it begins to overwhelm us. It begins to rule us. It may be starting with a tiny fear, and then it grows and grows and grows because we think about it again and again and again. You feed the thought. At one point, the thought takes over your entire being, and then you become a slave to it. So, when good things can also be repeated again and again, the more you repeat, the deeper it goes inside and gets assimilated. And then Bhagwan asked Shri Perumal Raju Aiyya, okay, now you come to the last sloka and read it out. The last sloka says, the one who knows, who has the memory of his previous births, the one who could see, who has lived the heaven and the hell, in whose view both heaven and hell are there equal, who could look at them equally, and the one who has accomplished the highest knowledge, the one who has come to the end of his journey, the journey of births and deaths. Buddha says, it is him Buddha calls Brahman. The one who has become one with Brahman is Brahman. So it starts with mind, a very active mind, and he wants us, if you use this mind, if you fill this mind with impurities, whatever speech you do, whatever action you do, be sure the effects would follow you like the wheels of a cart following the ox, the bullock. You cannot escape from your bad karmas. You have to suffer. The suffering that you give to somebody, the same suffering you have to go through sometime or the other, if not in this birth, in the next birth. One bad word you say against somebody, be very sure that has gone into registration. Bhagwan used to say there's an invisible cosmic register in which every word is registered. Every good word is also registered, every bad word is also registered. And one day or the other, they're going to catch up with you. Be warned. Every bad karma, every bad action that you do, every torture you give to another person, harsh words you speak to other people, they are going to follow you like the devil. Like what Buddha says is like the wheels of the cart that follow the ox, the bullock. You are dragging a load of them. So it starts with mind, and it's a warning. You fill the mind with good thoughts, and you fill your life with good actions. You must have right thinking and right action. You know that you cannot escape from the effects of the karmas. And then Bhagwan chose one particular thing where again the warning is given. Remember, the years are passing by one after the other. The years are rolling by. You have to you are like the withered leaf, just clinging to the tree. Any moment, one whiff of wind and you'd fall down. You'd drop the body and you have to be prepared. Now again, what do? We have to remember the now. We have to remember the divine. We have to keep chanting every nama that you chant. Gets stored as the divine power in you. And it comes to your help. It comes to your guidance. It comes to protect you. No single nama goes waste. So fill your life with nama. Fill your life with seva. Seva to people is seva to God. Or seva to God. Bhagwan, I don't know, I have always heard him say the reverse. People generally say, seva to the humanity is seva to God. Bhagwan always said, seva to God is seva to the entire humanity. A little seva to God is the greatest service to humanity. And then he would say, if you cannot serve God-men who have attained perfection, who have become one with God. Then they will take you to perfection. So, let us fill our life with good thoughts, right thinking, good actions, right actions. And finally, the final sloka again says, by which what do we gain? You gain complete freedom, liberation from the tyranny of your ego. The ego is nothing but selfishness, and it is selfishness that makes you do bad things, the adharmic things. But once you get rid of it, once you are free from that, you become one with God. You are in communion with God all the time. When you would know all your past births, what you had been, and you would have known the heaven with all its comforts, you would have known the hell with all its terrible dimensions. And then, at that time, in your view, both would look the same. Why? Because you have crossed them, you have gone above them. You are in permanent bliss. Nothing ever matters anymore. So let's remember these teachings. Bhagwan made him read again and again and again, made him say it several times so that these warnings will go into us and slowly sink in to the depths and get assimilated and finally come out as actions. The teachings of Buddha are teachings of Buddha. They are the truths of Buddha. Now they must become our truths. Just by saying it, it will not become our truth. We have to assimilate it. We have to make it our own truth by our experience of that. Now this Buddha, who is Buddha? The one who has become one with God, the one who has become one with the entire creation. Now that Buddha is here, standing before us, with his hand raised in benediction. Bhagwan was always fond of Buddha. Even at the age of 16, when he went to Kashi, visited the shrine of Vishwanath, he had a beautiful experience there. He saw the whole place filled with effulgence. And he also learned the effulgence was coming from inside of him. And after that, this boy of 16 walked all the way to Saranath, 13 kilometers. Saranath is the place where Lord Buddha gave his first teachings. The first 5 disciples followed him. After he attained enlightenment, he walked all the way to Saranath with his 5 disciples. And they sat in one place, and then Sri Buddha started his teachings. And today there is a stupa there in memory of that. When Bhagwan went near that, he felt overwhelmed and he fell into a trance. He was transported into another world. And what is more, after that, he went to Buddha Gaya also. He went and sat there under the Bodhi tree where Sri Buddha attained perfection, where he was enlightened by the highest truth. In fact, to some of the children, Bhagwan gave names like Yashodhara, Maya, Amitabh. And of course, this boy became a Buddha himself. And is standing here in front of us with his hand raised in benediction. Let us appeal to him today. Let us submit our prayers, today's prayers,